cloud so we can have this, and you go ahead and you take it away.
Awesome. So am I telling my story and then giving tips and tricks, or how do you want to do this?
I would like for you to share a little bit of your story. And the reason I feel like the story part is so important, one, being that you're on our team, when someone is coming across a thriver who needs the Thrive experience, hearing your story may help us to know, oh, maybe I can reach out to Margie and this person might relate to her story. Also, it helps us to know, like, when we come across someone, just the things that, somebody's not muted. I don't know who it is. Okay. It helps us just to know how to talk to people. Like, however, whatever sparked your interest when you're telling your story, maybe, that might be something that someone can use that can help them to, talk to
Yeah.
people, and.
Okay.
So, yeah. And I know you always say, really quick before you start, Margie always says, my story's too long. Margie, your story is not too long.
I'll
Okay.
condense.
We all have different stories. And I will tell you, we went to Margie's house for dinner a while back, and I heard her
A
say
year ago today.
a year ago today.
Today.
Yes, because Ashley was here, and it was after Thanksgiving. So we went to Margie's house for dinner a year ago today. How crazy is that? And I heard parts of her story, and I was like, wow, really? So there were things that are helping Thrive is helping her that I didn't even know that it could help with. So, Margie, just take it away, girl. Don't worry about time.
Okay. Hey guys. So my story's a little bit all over the place, and I swore that I'm going to share it at least twice a week. That's my goal for the rest of the year, and so that I can kind of help condense it and get it better. But how I started out thriving was I had a friend, Tommy, who, hi Tommy. He was always asking, of course, Tommy. He was always asking, do you want to try Thrive? No, not interested. I don't like to take pills. I don't like to put anything in my body. I never finish a prescription antibiotic. I'm horrible. Like, I'm the worst patient on earth. And so I just didn't think it was for me. And literally, one day we were in the parking lot of the gym, and he said, hey, the person who belongs to the sample didn't show up. Do you want to give it a try? And I said yes, because I said, okay, if I take this, then he'll stop asking me every time I see him. That's why I took it. However, I was traveling for work that day, and let me do something really quick. Sorry, I had to shut a door. So I was traveling for work that day, and we get up at 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I had to come home, get my bag, head to the airport, travel all day. I had a really important dinner meeting that night, and that I needed to really be on for. And I thought, you know what? Maybe this will give me some energy. Before Thrive, I was a Starbucks or a Dunkin' on the way to work every day. And I probably had at least 6 coffees a day to keep me going. It was just like constant refill. That's what fueled me for 15 or 20 years. And so I took it, and I was a day one thriver. I felt amazing. It gave me incredible energy, and I felt so good. And I was like on during that dinner meeting that I needed to be on for. And I just felt really good. And I had energy, and I was happy, even though usually on travel days I'd be exhausted. And I felt really good. And I went back to the hotel room that night, and I started reading up on it. And I placed my first order that night. And I clicked the promoter button that night, because I read refer to people and you'll thrive for free. And I'm a mom, like a lot of people are, and I won't spend $150 a month on anything for myself. Like my kids, any day of the week, but for myself, never. And so I said, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to find two people. And I thought you had to be a promoter to do that. So that's why I clicked the promoter button. I work 60, 70 plus hours a week. I've run a manufacturing company for 15 years now. And I work a lot, and there's no way I ever in a million years thought that I would have the time to also promote a product. And I honestly didn't have any desire. I knew it made me feel great, and I knew I wanted to keep taking it. And I knew I just didn't want to keep spending $150 a month. So that was my intention. And one thing that I brought up on a Zoom the other night was my VIP 800 chat. I actually recently scrolled back and I went and looked at it, and it was bad. It was so bad. It was Tommy, I believe it was Q, Beth, Leanne, and I ignored the heck out of them. I was just like, these people are crazy. Why is everybody trying to help me? Why is everybody friend requesting me? I was like, just suspect. And I was like, I don't want to do this. I just want to get my product for free. And that was my intention. I did hit VIP 800 on my last day, and it's only because one of my really good friends logged in because I was sharing my link out all over the place. And she logged in and supposedly did the math and thought buying an $800 pack was better math. And so she bought a promoter pack like literally on the last day. And Tommy was like, okay, you've got this huge, you've got the volume. We've just got to find 3 more people. So I did hit VIP 800, but it was like a miracle. And VIP 800 is hard. So you guys just keep in mind that if you came in and you didn't hit your VIPs, that doesn't really mean anything. It took me 4 months. I actually decided that I was going to go all in. And I really have to give Q credit on that. She had this little contest that was called The Gift of Growth. And it's where I won the opportunity to meet with other 200K leaders on our team for an hour plus each night for like 5 or 6 days in a row. And I remember thinking when I won it, I was like, yay, I won it. And then I thought, I can't spend an hour or two every single night on a one-on-one Zoom. I don't have that kind of time. But I did it, and I got to spend time with Heather, Ashley, Beth and Belinda, Leanne, and Kristen. And they poured into me like their stories and their journey, and what I learned so much. I was like full of information, but what it really made for me was it made me realize that these are just normal people that just didn't give up. And I think Kristen Gonzalez is really the one who really made it hit home for me. Everybody like taught me something. Like I still find myself sharing the information that they poured into me. Like each person, I can tell you, I could go on all night about the things that I learned on those Zooms a year ago. And but Kristen is the one who made it really, really hit home for me. And really kind of drew out what I needed to do. And she kind of made it look like it was a numbers thing. And the more people the more reach outs I do, the more connections I make, the better percentage of drivers I'm going to get. And after that week of spending all that time with everyone, I decided that I was going to go all in. And that it was then 4 months in after I clicked the promoter button that I actually decided, hey, I'm going to see where this promoter thing takes me. And I went all in, and I'm still learning what that means. Like I'm still tweaking and constantly learning and changing what I'm doing and learning what all in is. But it's definitely been an amazing journey and something that I'm so, so thankful for. It's definitely, the products have changed my life on so many different levels. I'll touch on those a little bit. Um, 10 years ago, I broke every bone in my ankle, and it was a trimallear fracture. So everything down there is metal. I've got a rod, 2 plates, 12 screws, and some stabilizing bars. And they told me when I had that accident that I would never walk again without some kind of, like, a cane or something, some type of assistance. And I am somebody who, you can't tell if you can't say you can never do this again. And so definitely um, went through months and months of physical therapy and everything. And I was definitely able to walk, but for many years until I found Thrive, I used it as a crutch and an excuse to not push myself, and to definitely not exercise and definitely not run. But taking the products made me, one thing is that it took a lot of the aches and pains away that I had down there. But it gave me energy and that I needed to expend in some way. So I started really working out hard. Orange Theory 4 or 5 days a week. I run, and I do 5Ks and 10Ks. And I did my first Spartan. I had planned to trifecta this year, but COVID kind of put that on hold for me. But anyway, so at 49 years old, for the first time in my life, I actually became somebody who loves working out and loves exercising and loves getting healthy and loves helping other people get healthy. And I never in a million years thought I would be that person. Absolutely. When I went to my first doctor's checkup, it wasn't a full year in. I went to my first doctor's checkup, and he was so shocked about I've lost 47 pounds. He was so shocked about the weight loss and about how my blood levels had completely changed. I've been anemic my whole life. Like, as a teenager, I remember being anemic, and I would have to take iron every month, like forever. I've taken iron every month for a few days out of every month. And I haven't been anemic. I don't really know why, because there's not iron in the products, but I have not had any problems with anemia. And anyways, my blood pressure and my cholesterol, everything completely changed about my blood work. And my doctor was so impressed that him and his wife actually started thriving after that appointment. So, so many good, great things that have happened. I could go on and on all night about it. So it was like the end of July, I believe, 2019 is when I had the gift of growth. And that's when I decided to go all in. And September 30th of 2019, I hit 4K and got a $4,000 bonus because they were having that 4K rank advancement or something. And then the very next month, on October 31st, 2019, I hit 12K and got my auto bonus, and got $12,000. So that was amazing. And really, I mean, the money is way better than I ever in a million years thought it would be. At first, it was like gas money each week. And then it was like grocery money. And it's grown to an unbelievable amount. And every Tuesday, it feels like it's becoming more and more. So I'm just really excited to see where it's going. I absolutely have a passion for helping people change their lives on a health level and a financial level, helping single moms. I was raised by one, so that's a huge passion for me as well, trying to help single moms better their lives and the lives of their children. And gosh, what else? I guess I can get into the tips and tricks part of it. the thing that I had shared with Tommy and Q was, I do not know, but recently somebody gave the suggestion, it was probably on a Zoom that we were all on, where they said, set an alarm for 8 o'clock every night. And so my phone actually, every night at 8 o'clock, it pops up and it says, did I pay the rent? I don't know who this is. It sounds like a Kristen thing to me, but I don't remember who told us to do that. But doing that, it's probably been a month now, a little over a month. But whenever that pops up on my phone at 8 o'clock every single night, I've already done my reach outs and I've already done my IPAs and touch base with everyone. But whenever that pops up, it reminds me, did I do the work to deserve the life that I'm living right now? And did I do the work to get to where my goals are? Did I do enough? And I always look at it and I think, you know what? I can do more. So I do 5 to 10 more reach outs, or, touch base check in with more people and stuff every single night when I say it. So that little hint has been huge for me, because it's at the end of the day, think about, what have I really done? Because it's easy to think that you're doing the do and that you're doing the work, because you get on Facebook and you scroll and you kind of interact with some people and you think that you're making those reach outs, but it's just an extra little reminder to touch base with people. So that's helped me tremendously. Another thing that I'm doing different right now is I've set some really heavy goals for myself, in regards to where my PPA is going to be, how many new accounts I'm bringing in every month, and I'm sampling people like crazy too. So I usually don't sample. I'm not a big fan of sampling, because most people aren't day one thrivers like I am, and they won't feel anything in that 3 days. And then they'll think, oh, well, it doesn't work for me. Or gosh, somebody might, detox and actually feel bad. And then they think, oh my gosh, I can't take that stuff. So not a really big fan of sampling. I always say, you know what, if somebody's really ready for a life change, they'll go all in on a month. That's really the only way to really, really know how you're going to feel thriving, is to go all in on a month. It's an investment in yourself, and it's a really important one, and it's one that will really, really pay off. But like I said, I'm doing opposite things to see what happens, and I'm sampling and doing way more reach outs and follow-ups than I normally do. Just trying to reach some goals before the end of the year. So I don't know. Do you have any questions for me? Since I'm on my phone, I can't see.
It's okay. If you guys have questions, feel free to unmute or put it in the chat if you don't want to talk. So Margie, what does a reach out look like for you? Because you get promoters like it's nothing. So share with them, what does a reach out look like to you?
It's different according to whether if they've thrived or not, and so one thing that I do different, and I've learned the hard way, I've done all the wrong things constantly. And so I try to tell new promoters that come in, I try to tell them all my mistakes that I've made so that they won't make the same. But I'm one of those people that has to make the mistake to learn the lesson. But I research the actual person that I'm doing the reach out to, and I kind of see what their life is like, and I see whether the business opportunity might be something attractive to them. So then that's when I know whether to even bring that up or not, So I am pretty organized about how I do my reach outs. I have this insane spreadsheet that I constantly have going, where I have columns, and I know how many times I've reached out with each person. That's the only way to do it. I had to learn that the hard way, because I was constantly losing people in chats and stuff like that. So I have a spreadsheet, and I've got tabs of people that I'm currently sampling, people that I'm sampling and haven't really responded to a reach out, and I just am constantly thinking about new ways, and I'm doing it in different ways. I'm doing text messages, I'm doing messages in Messenger, And I'm also sending emails, and I have different email formats that I have saved for contacts and everything. So, and I'm trying to make not all my reach outs be about Thrive. I'm like genuinely trying to build the relationship, because that's really, at the end of the day, that's really what this is all about. You're trying to help them better their life. And if you don't even know who it is that you're talking to, and what their life is like, it's just spam. It really is. It's just going to go in one ear and out the other. And you know what? That three-way connection has been huge. I learned the hard way because at first I didn't connect to anyone. And because I'm somebody who studies the heck out of everything. Like I've read every PDF that there is, and I've studied and read and everything. And I feel like I could answer any question that anybody throws out to me. But at the beginning, I didn't connect people who had questions. I just answered the questions like that. Bam, bam, bam. Like they'd ask me a question, I'd answer it. They'd ask me another question, I'd answer it. And I didn't connect anyone at first. And I learned that when I would bring in a new thriver and they would ask me all these questions and I would just answer them like this, it would give them the impression that, well, gosh, I'll never be able to be a promoter because I don't have time to study all that stuff. I'll never sound like she does, and I'll never have all that knowledge. So even today, if somebody asks me a question, I throw them in a three-way, because I need new people that I'm bringing in to see that I have people that have my back, and they don't have to know it all. They have a whole team that's willing to jump in and help them. And if you don't connect, then they think that they have to know everything. So, gosh, I don't know. I've learned a million things, I feel like, the hard way, I mean, I still am every day.
Do you only use Facebook as a way of reaching out to people? I know you said you do emails and stuff like that. Are there any platforms you find that are better for you than
So
others?
I do Facebook and I do Facebook, and then I do Instagram, but I'm constantly joining groups. I learned that from Tommy. I'm like joining groups and making connections with people that have nothing to do whatsoever with Thrive. But I also, one place recently where I've gotten a lot of connections and a lot of new Thrivers is Poshmark. I have samples for sale on Poshmark, and I tell them they can choose, they're customizable samples, and they can choose their flavors. And on my posts, I always say, find me on Facebook and tell me what flavors you want. And I've probably, in the past 2 months, I've probably at least 10 of my new Thrivers have came connections through Poshmark, and 3 promoters have came from people that I don't even know. Like, we just met on Poshmark. They saw the samples, and then they friend requested me. And then a lot of people don't even buy the sample. They see where it says friend request me on Facebook, and they friend request me on Facebook, or they message me on Instagram, and we just build the connection that way. So I'm constantly looking for new avenues like that. I really want this COVID stuff to be over with, because I love talking to people in person way more than on, because you make that connection. I just like it so much more. I can't go live though, so don't ask.
You can do it. You can do it.
Darn, I was gonna schedule one. I was just about to be like in the chat.
I'm scared, y'all. I am like terrified to go live. Like, I can Zoom all night long, like Zoom like crazy, because I feel like we're friends and I'm talking to you guys. You're on my level and everything. But going live on Facebook, like literally, I'm like shaking right now just talking about it. Just I see so many people that are so good at it, and like Tommy and Q, like they're just comfortable, they're just being themselves and comfortable and everything. And I just can't. I just can't.
You know how uncomfortable I am every time I go live? because I
No,
stumble
'cause
over
you don't.
my words. I'm not well using words. Like it's very uncomfortable for me. It's hard for me, but I just do it because I've seen success with it. Like every time I go live, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And then before I know it, people are inboxing me like, thank you for saying that. Thank you for that. And I'm like, well, at least I'm bringing value. If I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're really relatable and really good at it. I feel like I'm not at all. Like every time I do it, I can't even watch myself because I'm scared to death. One thing that I definitely wanted to say, there's another thing that I've learned recently is that the promoters that you bring in will do 10 to 20, and then this maybe even was Tommy that said this. The promoters that you bring in will only do 10 to 20% of what you do. So I'm doing the do every dang day because I know that they need to see me doing the work or they're not going to. So your promoters are going to run as fast or as slow as you do. That's been a big thing that I've learned recently. So I'm trying to do 10 times more because I know that they're only going to do a small percentage of what I do, and run with the runners. I love when somebody's on fire and ready to share their journey. And yeah, I probably love that most of all, helping new promoters and get started. So
I know your life is super, 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 super busy. Like I remember that just from before you even became a driver. I used to just, when just from us talking back and forth through message, I'm like, yo, this lady never stops working. Like she's always gone. You guys, if you didn't know, like before COVID happened, like she was always traveling, always on the road, working crazy hours, but she found a way to make this business work. So, you know, how do how do you fit this craziness into your everyday life? Like how do you fit the business into your life?
so I fit it into the nooks and crannies of my day. I find the time, like you'll find the time to do things that give you passion and fuel you. So I never thought Thrive is a big reason why I have the energy and the time to do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I worked long hours, but I would come home from work at around 8 o'clock at night and I would immediately put my pajamas on and get in bed. And I'd go to bed and I'd wake up the next morning and do the same thing over and over again. Well, now I stay up till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, working the business because during the day, a lot of times I'm too busy. I do like lean on my team and my upline to help me when I'm not available for emergencies and stuff like that during the day. But I do find times during the day to check in. Everybody has a little bit of downtime. I remember Q when she was working, like would go hide in the closet to talk to somebody or to hop on a Zoom and stuff like that. I'm constantly the one thing that I like that I hate is that a lot of times if there's a call or a Zoom during the day that I really, really want to be on, I'll try to hop on, but I constantly have people coming in my office and stuff. But basically, if people tell me, oh, I'm too busy, I don't really say it like that, but I'm like, girl, you don't know what busy is. Like you'll find the time. If you really, really want this, you will find the time for the things that are important to you. That's just really what it boils down to, and I have to be targeted and organized about it. Otherwise I wouldn't, have the time. I don't have time to scroll. I unfollowed like 90% of I love looking at my team and, my sister teams and stuff, all of their posts and everything, but I had to unfollow 99% of them because I need to be able to see, the people that aren't thriving. Basically, I need to be able to see them and connect with them. So I had to unfortunately unfollow. So then I have to like specifically go. I think that helped me huge because I was constantly just scrolling and interacting in other Thrivers posts, unfollowing my, my people, the people I love, really helped a lot. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of we love the Thrive community. We love being connected with our team, other people, but I don't think a lot of people realize how much that hurts you by following all of the Thrivers. Like, if you unfollow, like you said, 99% of the people that are Thrivers, your whole new feed will change. It's a game changer. So like I learned that. I'm like, listen, like, I love my people, but I need new people. Like, you guys are already Thrivers. So I'm glad you said that. Let me make sure there's nothing in the chat. Oh, I agree. Samantha said she's agrees. What was one of the so far has been your best day? Am I sound crazy?
It's because it's through Margie. Like it's echoing. That's all.
Oh, what has been your best day as far as in this business? Like, what has like gave you the most excitement?
My favorite days are when the people on my team are like close to a goal. There's nothing more exciting than that, than actually helping people reach a goal. So like that end of the month thing, that's always my favorite. Like the last 24, 48 hours of the month, there's nothing better. Like, and to see people hitting goals and to knowing that I was a small part of that, and just seeing people's lives change. I always say that starting a new Thriver is it's like Christmas, because you never know how the product's going to affect them and what exactly it's going to better about their lives. You know that it's going to better some part of their life, but you never know, and it's bettered parts of my life that I never in a million years expected. I thought it was weight loss and energy, and it is so 10 million. You guys know that. It's so 10 million more times things than that. And so bringing on a new Thriver and figuring out what it's going to be for them, that's fun. It's like Christmas Day, but that end of the month hustle, that there's nothing more exciting than that, for sure. So.
Did you have anything else?
I'll let somebody else say something.
Does anybody have any questions? No. Okay, so Margie, I do want you to do one thing for me. Can you, because it's trip calls right now, and can you just tell them about your first experience on your first trip?
Oh my God. So it was so amazing, you guys. Wow. So it's nothing. So you guys that haven't been on a trip, I want that for my team so bad, because Lavelle goes all out. Like, it's first class all the way, and they pay for everything. Like, you don't need money. Like, all the food and all the beverages, and it's even like, just everything's included. And it's not like they don't go cheap. Like, the rooms are the top rooms. They're the top rooms in the resort. It's not like you're staying in the cheap end of the resort. You're in the top rooms. A lot of people's rooms had a second story terrace with a hot tub on the outside. We were on the beach, and we had, a hammock on our patio and stuff. It's first class, and it's amazing, and it's absolutely worth doing everything that you can to make it happen. It's unbelievable how well they treat you. Like, it'll blow your mind. So I want it for you guys so bad. I do.
That's me. I want it for everybody. Like, I'm like, everybody deserves to go on a trip, because It's amazing that you don't pay a dime. And like she said, like they come get you from the airport, and like on the way there, they have snacks and water and stuff for you. And then you get there and they have a full buffet for you laid out at check-in with
Spread.
drinks and, you know, everything like that. And like, there's no business meeting. The only thing there is the Lavelle event, and that's a party. Like it's
Yeah.
literally a party, music and a buffet, and all the Thrivers are there, and it's usually themed. So they usually have a theme for it, and everybody dresses like in a water theme or whatever the theme is. And Jason and Paul come out on the stage, and they're literally up there not even more than 30 minutes before they're done, and then the rest of the trip is yours. And that's even exciting because they're announcing like a new product or the new things that are going to happen in the business. And so I can't wait for each one of you to experience that. Margie went on her the last trip. I know a bunch of people qualified for California, and due to COVID, it didn't happen. But you know what? It doesn't matter because they always have getaways. Shantae said something. And the next getaway. And the next getaway, Shantae. Can you talk, Shantae? I know you're having Wi-Fi
Yeah,
issues.
I can talk because I'm eating apple pie. Yes, they talk about the next getaway that we're going on. Usually when they are doing those announcements. That's what I meant.
Yes. And so they're always having something, like they always have something, and you guys just all deserve to be there. And I will say, on top of VIP 800 and the last day of the month, it's very exciting for me too when someone is close to qualifying for a trip. Like she said, hitting the goals is just exciting for us when you're hitting those goals as it is. I think it's more exciting when I'm like, oh my gosh, Michaela qualified for her first trip. She's going on her first trip. Like things like that. Like I say Michaela because she's on and she qualified, but it is more exciting. Like I would give up my place if I could for one of you to experience it. Like if I could say, Lavelle, can Michelle and Penny take my place? I would so give it up just so you had that experience.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I even have chills talking about it because you guys all deserve it. You know, you work so hard. And Margie, I see you're about to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, when I flew to Mexico, I was on a plane full of Thrivers, and I didn't know them, right? I knew who they were because I would see, watch their videos and stuff like that. But the whole plane was full of Thrivers. There is absolutely nothing like the energy of being in a room full of people thriving, and a plane full of people that are thriving. It's amazing. Like nobody knows a stranger. Like it's just amazing. It's like the most incredible thing that you've ever experienced, and you can't even imagine what it's like until you're there. And I was by myself on the plane, like I didn't know anyone, and everybody was so amazing to me. And they were like all, can you hear me? Just absolutely incredible. And yeah, I want it for everybody. Bad. Hopefully 2021.
Okay, guys. So if nobody else has questions, thank you so much, Margie. You hit so many great points. I love that you work 60, 70 hours a week and you still fit this in. I think that is very important to say because like she said, if you want this business, you make time for the things that you really want. And so I think that is a great point. I love that you said you learned so much on the gift of growth. That is one of my favorite promos to run because it was for me my first Zoom with Kristen, Heather, Leanne, Beth, and Belinda. My first Zoom with them, I got on with them, and I promise you, I got off that Zoom and I was like, if they can do it, I can do it. They are just normal people. And so the people at the top are no better than you guys. They just worked harder. They've been doing it longer. It's all about a decision. Once you make that decision to go all in, like Michaela saying something. Yes, Michaela won the gift of growth with Shanika. It was a total game changer. Yes. So the last gift of growth I threw, Michaela and Shanika won. They were tied, and I just was like, you know what? I asked the leaders, do you mind talking to two people at once? And they did it together. And she said it was a total game changer for her. But Yes. So thank you, Margie, for sharing your story, guys. It's all about making a decision. I will say that that is the title tonight. You got to make the decision to go all in. You guys all deserve everything that Lavelle has to offer. And you know that this is the only thing, this is the only industry where you're actually paid for your efforts. So I appreciate you, Margie. Thanks for jumping in and
Thank
telling
you,
your
guys.
story. It was so good. It wasn't too long. And you did tell my favorite part, all about your ankle. I was like, I hope she tells everybody about her ankle.
I leave it out so much because it just seems like, yeah.
Yeah, because if you go to Margie's page now, you'll see she's done like all these like Spartan races and everything. And to me, that's truly amazing for a doctor to tell you that you'll never walk again without a cane. And I love the picture of her. She's got like a sandbag on her shoulder and she's walking through the mud. And it's like, y'all know the
Wearing
girls.
my DFT.
Sorry, Tommy. So yes, thank you, Margie. Thank you guys for all happening on a Sunday. Encourage your teams to get on next Sunday, guys. We're gonna do this. This is gonna be our new thing every Sunday, a new promoter, someone just like you sharing their experience and giving us some tips. I love you guys. God bless. Good night.
Good night.